Can an ordinary light bulb be a sad lamp? I've been Googling for 30 minutes and I feel qualified to say yes. As long as it makes the consensus sad light therapy criteria, I guess. Over 10,000 lux or roundabout at 10 centimetres. This is probably more. Colour temp of around 5,000K to 6,500K and that sort of neutral white. But I think most go for 6,500, most of these light boxes. This bulb was 6,500K, so it fits the criteria. And make sure it's getting no ultraviolet rays because that'll ruin your retinas. I don't think home LED bulbs do have ultraviolet in them, but make sure. It doesn't seem very practical to have it 10 centimetres away from you, that's like that. So most people, they're saying arm's length, and that means rather than 30 minutes, you'd need to do, I don't know, 2 hours or something, because then it's probably 2,500 lux or something. So I may be being incredibly naive, but I would think that you can use a ordinary LED bulb as a sad lamp, if the criteria is right. For example, let's compare it to this one from Lidl. It doesn't call itself a sad lamp, but it's a light box that seems to be it gives you instructions inside that you have to use it for 30 minutes and it's 6,500K and that, so I don't know if there's some sort of legal issue or something, but it seems to be for SAD therapy. SAD being Seasonal Affective Disorder. This is 7.5 watts of light, so it doesn't quite have the power of my other light, but it's getting over there, the 10,000 mark, at 10 centimetres. That's lux, which is brightness. Don't quote me on this, but I think 480, this is luminous flux, which is, luminous flux is light received, whereas lux is light emitted. So really we're all about light received, really, in reality, but they all go by lux for light emitted because that's the way you measure a bulb, really. So I think you could call it a sad lamp. It's been sold in that way, even though they're not calling it that. So maybe there's a legal issue or something. Even in the instruction manual, it tells you not stare at it, just keep it close to you for 30 minutes or whatever, depending on how close you've got it. Further away, the longer, they're saying about maybe 2 hours or something if you're further away. And that's typical what they tell you of a sad lamp. And usually they're this sort of shape, a light box, they would call them. And it's a very diffused, so you're not getting a real glare off it. But this one, I think it cost about £18. I can't remember. I bought it in 2023. They sell them about 4 times a year in Lidl. The market leaders are about £40, like Boyer or whatever, Verilux. I don't know what ones are the market things. And you can even get ones at £250, you could spend. So I don't know what would be more impressive about them at that sort of price. And here you can see the colour temperature, because the lower down you go in Kelvin, say around about 2,500, you're in the yellow-white zone. So this is all about the shade of white. And the higher up you go, the more you're in the blue thingy. And blue's supposed to stimulate serotonin, and yellow's supposed to stimulate melatonin. Serotonin is your awake hormone, they're calling it. I'll just call it that. Melatonin is your sleep hormone. So if you're wanting to wake up, you would want to be around about there. They're calling it neutral white, but that's debated. Some say it's around about from 5,000 to 6,500K. If it was right in the centre like they're saying, then I would call it neutral white, but I don't know if everyone agrees about that, I don't know if this is pure white, I don't know if this is how you actually think it. And where's green? Because I thought the spectrum was Roy G. Biv for a rainbow, so that would be red, yellow. So you know what I mean, don't you? Green should be in there, but it's not. Anyway, from what I've seen, most are selling them around about 6,500k after a 30-minute Google search. And that's what that light bulb in the other lamp was. And they're saying 480 lumens will be received by the retina, luminous flux, or that's what I'm taking that to mean. And that's because it's giving out, the lamp's giving out 10,000 lux at 10 centimetres. Awake, serotonin, blue. Sleep, melatonin, yellow. This is all to do with your circadian cycle, which I think is to do with jet lag as well, isn't it? I don't know. The idea is if you're living in a country where it's dark at any time of the year, especially in the mornings and that, you're wanting to use this in the morning to wake yourself up, basically. They're saying 30 minutes if you were 10,000 lux, if you were 10 centimetres away. But nobody's going to be 10 centimetres away. You're going to be an arm's length away at least. So if you had your laptop there or whatever, or staring at your computer or whatever, you would have these at 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, or maybe both, like this. And it would just sort of catch the side of your eye. One YouTuber says he thinks it's better if it's up high, so it's sort of coming down like the same way the sun would be, so up here or something. And he was even saying he's using a studio light or whatever, if I understood him correct. He was really good on this subject, but I can't remember his name. Anyway, you wake up in the morning, you're wanting a bit of blue white on your eyes for 30 minutes if you were 10 centimetres away, but in reality, you're going to be further away. You've got your laptop there, you're thinking 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, or both even, if you want. And it's got to be like 10,000 lux. It's got to be like 6,500 Kelvin colour temperature. You get the idea? Anyway, if you can't afford one of these, it can be like £40 or in Lidl maybe £20 or whatever, then maybe you could use a bulb like this that fits the criteria. From Home Bargains, 6,500k, and it's even more powerful than that light box I showed you. 13.5 watts, 1,521 lumens. I don't know how far away that is. I'm guessing maybe 10 centimetres. The one I was using was 12 watts, but I see Home Bargains have upped their power to 13.5 watts now. So this new one is even brighter than that other one. Make sure your light can take the wattage. This one says 40 watts max, so I'm alright. 13.5 watts, so even more than that 12 watt one. To test Lust, there's apps in Google Play or iPhone. This one, you know, what more do you want? It doesn't use your camera to test lux, it's using the light sensor. So even though I've got my camera blocked there, it can still test the lux. So my Home Bargains, 13.5 watts thingy. Yeah, I'm like 20,000 there, and that's quite far away. I mean, it says, like, that light box says from 5,000 lux, you'd be about 20 centimetres away or something. So that's more than 20 probably. That's like 20 centimetres, so you get the idea, don't you? So this little light that doesn't call itself a side lamp, but seems to imply it is. That's the sort of use there thing. The reason you're doing this is to get the sort of blue light to get your serotonin going, to wake you up. And so you would be doing this in the morning or whenever you want to be wakeful. And there's what they're suggesting. 10,000 lux at 10 centimetres. Nobody's going to do that. I mean, it's like there. And 20 centimetres is about there. We don't measure it. This is about 30 centimetres, so quite realistic. But you'd need to do that for 2 hours because they reckon you'd be getting about 2,500 lux. I'll test it. So this is 30 centimetres away. Yeah, that's over 2,500. So if you were getting that sort of lux, you could probably do it a bit less time. I mean, that's 4,000 lux. But I suppose I should go for them a bit there. Yeah, you're still getting a bit more. That's 13.5 watt LED bulb. Yeah, other things I noticed about this light therapy business, there's quite a few aspects. Don't get it confused with UV lights for skin, because UV damages your eyes, the retina. That's why you have not to look at the sun, because the sun's got lots of ultraviolet radiation, and it just destroys your retina, so you definitely don't want that for your eyes. That's for your skin. I mean, I've seen things like this where they use face masks and stuff, not for the eyes, but for the face. Yeah, I don't know what's going on anyway. Then another thing I saw, because I wondered this myself, why don't they just have some sort of glasses that are above your eyes and shine light into your eyes? And it seems that they do have these things. I don't know what they're actually called yet. I think they're called circadian glasses. I've seen ones called blue glasses, but is that adding? Is that because it's near blue like this to wake you up, or is it doing away with blue? It's going on the yellow side so that it puts you to sleep, or is there both? I've not been able to find out, so that's something. Yeah, that's two other things I've seen. Yeah, and it makes me wonder about these lights as well. Could you not just get glasses, that you put above your eyes and that shine light in when you want to wake up? They would be at the blue end, they would be this daylight end of Kelvin, 6,500. If you ever want to go to sleep, it would be at the yellow end, so like 2,500 Kelvin. And the other thing, of course, is on phones and tablets, you'll know you've got night light, because you'll notice that suddenly, say about 9 o'clock at night, your phone might turn a sort of yellowy colour, and I suppose that's the same idea. It's I don't use it myself. It's to make it orange at certain, or yellow, no. And that's the same idea. It's your circadian thing. They're thinking yellow sleep, blue cool white for awake. So yeah, that's why you've got them on your phones and on your well, I think that's why. Maybe it's just to do with, yeah, it's because it says nightlight. See, it tells you there. If you would read, my advice to myself is switch it off. I just lower the brightness, when it's dark. Alright guys, I've given you my best 30 minutes of giggling. I don't know what else I can do. And my point is, can you use an ordinary LED light bulb to do your circadian cycle stuff? Sad therapy? I think yes, although I don't know. Other things that people have mentioned is flicker of lights. I don't know what role that plays or not. Usually you would have the lights at either 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock, not right in front of you. I think you're not maybe staring at it just in case it, annoys your retina for a long time. Because what I found is when I go into a dark room, I've got the black spots where the light bulb was looking into my eyes. But that's because I'm going crazy on this. I've got two of these, and at 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and yeah, I'm just using them for hours really. But whether there's any truth in this, I think there is a bit of truth in it, but I don't know how much. I mean, a doctor in Myers thinks there's a lot of truth in it, and he thinks it's very important. So if he thinks that, then I think, there might be. One thing I wonder is that traditional light bulbs, especially incandescent, for 100 years have been around about 2,500K in houses, house bulbs. So and that's a sort of very yellow white. And that makes me wonder, does that mean we've all been dead depressed really all the time because we've been sleepy all the time? For me personally, I prefer the blue white, or cool white as they call it. Some call it cool, some call it natural, some call it neutral, and then some call it daylight. We're not even sure what they're talking about. Google Bard isn't even sure. They're saying it's anything, but daylight white is like anything between 4,500 to 6,500. But it's where it's getting more to the blue spectrum, as we have here. Yeah, so I don't think anybody knows maybe, but I just wondered if maybe for 100 years we've all been depressed because of our lighting. I suppose these are, they call them light boxes usually, although, but I was using an ordinary bulb, but you could use one shape like that, more spotlight. This one's 10 watts. Doesn't say the lumens on it, deluxe. So it's not, I don't think, it's not as bright, but, well, that's got flicker in that one, huh? For my camera anyway. So that one's giving me flicker, but it says daylight. I don't think it says white. Maybe it's around about 4,500K maybe. But a yellow in there just slightly. You could get really crazy and use something like this, but it doesn't fit this one. But I'm sure I could fit it on something, but you get the idea. I think these are flying saucer ones, they call them. 6,500K, 36 watts. Wow, doesn't seem like it. So I feel you could use something like this. You get two for £6 at Home Bargains. I did say recently these were the best, the cheapest per power and all that. I still think they're good value if you not get anywhere else. But on Temu, I've seen ones for 18 watts at 6,500K. Yeah, 18 watts. I mean, for around about £7 or something for a pack of six. So I would definitely. Probably it's when you buy quite a few, but I would check Temu or eBay or AliExpress, or other people check Amazon. Very good, this is a lower. You can start moving outside now. I think you can use this as a sad therapy light. 10 o'clock or 2 o'clock position, not time, or it could be 10 in the morning. When you wake up, if you want to wake up and get serotonin going, 6,500K. The blue light. I suppose if you want to be sleepy, you could put in a yellow bulb. I don't think I've got a yellow bulb. Yeah, you don't really see anybody mention that. Like, could you not at night use a yellow therapy bulb to make yourself sleepy? So this is a yellow bulb, 2,700K Kelvin, and you can see how depressing it is. Very depressing. I think I bought this. It's an IKEA one. I think I bought it because in the shop it was next to all the cool white ones, and so it all looked good when it was all blended together. But then when you switch this off, it's so depressing and all that, depression. But then, do you use this to make yourself sleepy? That is the idea, I guess. But that's what people have had in their houses for 100 years. That colour of white. No wonder we've all been in bad moods. We've all been melatonin dominant. Of course, the idea is the sunlight gives us. I mean, that's quite a good lux on that. Maybe it's because it's direct. Yeah, must be. So maybe if you do get it, it's better to get a sort of spotlight shape one. Look at that. Yeah, I would get a spotlight one, I think. I'll test the spotlight shape one. Let's see. Oh, that's a flicker. Forgot. Yeah, that gives you more lux because it's a spotlight. That sort of shape. So you're probably wanting a shape like that, preferably, rather than the scatter type from the pear shaped one. Yeah, that's pretty good. I switched my light above off and it's flickering not so much, but I think that's better, yeah. Because Lidl said for their light, 2,500 at 30 centimetres. That's almost, yeah, I would say that is. So, yeah, that's pretty good, isn't it? No, this one must have a different flicker hertz to the other ones, these don't have it. So this is older and it's a different brand as well. So maybe it's got a different hertz. I'll try it again. It's about 30 centimetres. Yeah, I don't know if they're angled totally, but hertz is a measurement of wavelength. So, but this is lux that I'm looking at. Yeah, that's about good. This brand's called Ecolite. I don't know if that's Hombergen's old brand name. 50 hertz it says. The newer ones say 50, 60 hertz, so I don't know. Same in the newest one, 50, 60 hertz. So, can you use an ordinary light bulb, LED bulb, as a sad therapy lamp? It's a resounding, I think so, but I don't know. Alright, goodbye. I suppose I wonder if you can go too high in the lux, because you can get 18 watt LED bulbs now. I don't know what lux they are, and I think they said 1800 lux, but they're probably more than that. And that's talking about from a metre away or something, I think. You've got to have a system. Blue serotonin song. They call it melatonin yellow. They call it melatonin yellow. They call it melatonin yellow. Blue serotonin song.